Hi, my name is Andrew. Today I'm going to be showing you the proper and safety concerns with the new 58-foot drop deck trailers for the Ada fleet, for Flex and Gate fleet. First thing we want to make sure is if you have a sliding fifth wheel, your fifth wheel is slid all the way to the back. As if it is too far forward, you will not have enough clearance to clear the trailer. Now if you have a fixed fifth wheel, meaning it does not slide, you will have to take and go to the shop or somewhere and have your fifth wheel adjusted all the way to the rear. Now if you have any concerns about that, just get a tape measure and I'll show you how to measure that. Has to be 62 inches or less. So what you want to do is you want to go to the center of the fifth wheel plate, all the way up to the center, and then back, all the way back to the edge of the frame. And as you can see, it's 62 inches exactly to the back of the frame. That is all the room that you have to play with. Anything over 62 inches, even if your fifth wheel slid all the way back, if it's over 62 inches, you will not be able to pull the 58-foot drop deck trailers for the Flex and Gate fleet. Another concern is when you do hook up to the trailer, and I will show you this here momentarily, when you do hook up to the trailer, in order to slide the fifth wheel, I'll go ahead and show you how to do that properly. First thing you want to do is get lined up with the trailer and make sure that you're going to couple it properly. So you want to get out and check, make sure that you're in the trailer's low enough. Now, this is another safety feature here. With such a short handle on the landing gear, you see you do not have much room here to crank the handle, so you must hold it by the handle here. Then you just simply want to lower the trailer to where it sits on the plate. And then you can go ahead and finish backing into it and go ahead and couple it. Now, to move your fifth wheel, if you need to move your fifth wheel, one thing that you have to make sure is in order to slide your fifth wheel with these trailers, you have to come back to the back and you have to take the pressure off the fifth wheel plate simply by cranking the landing gear down just enough to take the pressure off. And when you start hearing the air come out, then you know you've taken the pressure off. As with the pressure still on, if you do not do this, because when you back up to the trailer, it actually lifts the landing gear off the ground just slightly, and it puts all the weight of the trailer onto the fifth wheel, not allowing you to slide your fifth wheel properly. Now, being that my fifth wheel is slid all the way back and is properly connected, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and lower the landing gear. Just to make sure that it puts the pressure on. Now, what we'll do, what we're gonna do now, as you can see, the registration box and DOT inspection box is so high, you're gonna have to use your catwalk to step up. So you want to make sure that you use the proper technique to hold on to it. You just want to make sure that the box, you use the proper procedure for getting up and down the catwalk. Always using 3 points of contact. And of course, after checking that, now the bill box, when it gets installed, it'll be down lower as well. And just connect your lines. Now these trailers are a little bit different to inspect as they're so low to the ground. So let's go ahead and turn on our lights. And as you see, I'm having to use the full handle here to keep from banging my knuckles on the steel plate here. Now also, these being new trailers, the landing gear is going to be stiff, so you want to make sure you use proper support, supporting yourself as you're dollying up the landing gear. And just ensure that the bar locks in place where it's supposed to. Now, as you can see, these lights are a lot lower to the ground. So just kind of wipe them off, make sure you can see. Another feature are the smaller tires. So what you're going to have to do is you're actually going to have to get down on the ground to look underneath to properly inspect. You can't lean over or lay over, obviously, because you'll fall over. So just always get on the ground, use about 3 points of contact, keep yourself supported, and then check the tires. Tires are good. And then same thing back here. Get down, 3 points of contact, checking the framing, checking the rail, checking the tires, airbags, and brakes. Mud flap is secure, but we'll have to get down here to see that all the bolts are still properly connected, holding the mud flap on. Again, checking the frame from the rear of the tandems back, as it's such a long distance. So you want to make sure that this frame back here the integrity is there. Also, while you're laying down, you can look over, see the brakes, airbags, look at the frame, and then always look at these joints. Make sure those joints are still welded properly and not breaking apart. The DOT bumper is really short. So if at any time you have to get into the trailer, make sure you use the proper contact points to step into the trailer, which is simply by holding this door, placing one foot up, come up on your knee, and then into the trailer. Now, as you can see, the drop deck up here, if you ever have to get into the trailer, you can see it's a pretty big step. So always make sure you brace yourself and step accordingly to lift yourself up so you don't fall. Same with stepping down off of it. Make sure you're supporting yourself, kind of step at an angle so you're stepping down flat-footed and not jumping off the platform. Also, while inspecting the trailers, as you can see, the new trailers have steel plates down on the bottom to keep the forklifts from damaging the trailers. You always want to check the integrity of these as well to make sure they're not punctured or broken. Same thing up top with the trailers. You can see there's new steel lining on the top, and that's to prevent the racks from puncturing the roof again. So we always want to make sure that all the bolts are all the way back, just to make sure. Back here on the back, you see it's a full plate. The reason for that being, this is the area of the full swing. Okay, there's nothing back here to support this trailer except the tandems and the frame. So once the forklift comes on, it's more likely to bounce up, which is why there's still plates back here. So always check the integrity of those, make sure there's no holes, no punctures, nothing for the racks to grab a hold to. Now, getting out of the trailer, same procedure. Just get down on one knee, put your foot down on the DOT bumper, and step down. Always bracing yourself with the door. Once you know the trailer's secure, shut the door. Lights on this side are good. And then we'll repeat the same thing on this side. You just want to get down and support yourself and check the frame, making sure that it's not bent, broken, or twisted. And these weld marks here are holding properly. Because if these weld marks break, that then makes the tail end of the trailer more likely to snap in half, which we do not want to happen. So this is very important to check on these weld marks. And then again with the tires, you just get down, you know, check the tires, make sure they're not flat, make sure they're not damaged in any way. Also, while you're down here, just take your finger, wipe off the glass, make sure you got some hub grease in there. Same thing on the front axle again. Just wipe it off, make sure you got the hub grease. Check the tires, also looking at the airbags and the brakes. Again, come up just a few more feet and get down again. I mean, it just takes a few minutes. Get down again, check the framing, make sure it's still properly bolted on onto the side rails. And just while you're at it, just look back towards the back, make sure that everything's integrity there, make sure there's no wires hanging down off the air tank. And then also look up towards the front, and you can kind of see the rest of the rafters to see if any of them are damaged. And all you want to do again, so like I said, just wipe your light off. Just helps with clarity, makes people able to see it. Now, this is where the deck drops down at. So you always want to check this seam here, making sure that these bolts are in place, the rivets are in place, and that this seam isn't broken. Same here with this piece of steel. Make sure the seam is not broken. And then again, just squat down properly, check the landing gear, check the bolts, ensure that you're not hitting the frame when you're turning. This is the main part that you'll hit. So make sure that you're not hitting this while you're inspecting the trailer. And again, just check the frame up here and the deck plate up here. Make sure everything is solid and nothing is broken. Let me come out and just inspect. Lights are all good. If you do have a fixed fifth wheel, even a sliding fifth wheel, remember, if you come off the AIDA fleet, the Flex-N-Gate fleet, be sure to properly adjust your fifth wheel plate again. Remember, if you have a fixed fifth wheel plate, you will have to go somewhere for them to properly adjust it back to where it needs to be for you. Sliding fifth wheel, remember, like I said, drop the landing gear down to where you're taking the pressure off the fifth wheel plate. Then you'll be able to easily slide your fifth wheel plate without that pressure. If you leave the pressure on there, you will not be able to slide your fifth wheel plate because all the weight of the trailer is on your fifth wheel. So just remember, come off the Flex-N-Gate, be sure to have your fifth wheel plate adjusted back. We're ready to roll.